Hello, my friends. So yesterday was a strange news day with Joe Biden dropping out of the presidential race, so we had to focus on that. Let's get back a little bit to some Ukraine news, and then we'll talk about some American news as well, but let's focus first on what I was going to talk about yesterday. So the Slovak Prime Minister raises concerns with Ukrainian counterpart over suspension of Russian oil transit. So Fico is an interesting character. He was just shot not too long ago as well, right? Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico had a telephone conversation with his Ukrainian counterpart, Denis Shmyhal, on 20 July. So he's not happy. Why is he not happy? He criticized the inclusion of Russian energy giant Lukoil in the sanctions list, as its oil is also used by Slovak refinery in Slonaft. Okay. So they're getting Russian oil, and they don't like that this Russian oil is now on a sanctions list, and it's going to make it harder for them. According to Fico, these sanctions are meaningless. Slovakia doesn't intend to be held hostage to Ukrainian-Russian relations, and the decision of Ukrainian president means that the Slovak refinery in Slonaft, a member of the Hungarian MOL group, will receive 40% less oil than it needs for processing. It will have an impact not only on the Slovak market, but it may also lead to the halt of deliveries of Slonaft-produced oil to Ukraine, while these make up almost 1/10 of the entire Ukrainian consumption, the Slovak Prime Minister said. Well, you should have been aware that there was this war going on between Ukraine and Russia, and Ukraine's doing everything it can to inhibit the power consumption of their adversary. So, you should have been paying attention. Okay, second big story. Secret Service said, this came out yesterday, Secret Service said that they have denied requests for more security at Trump events. So there's a lot of questions about what happened with the attempted assassination attempt. Like, how did they not see that this guy was on the roof? Well, top officials at the U.S. Secret Service repeatedly denied requests for additional resources and personnel sought by Donald Trump's security details in the 2 years leading up to his attempted assassination at a rally in Pennsylvania last Saturday. Now, that's on the Biden administration for not providing what they needed if they needed more security, and they denied that. Agents charged with protecting the former president requested magnetometers and more agents, as well as additional snipers, specialty teams at other outdoor events, said the people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe sensitive security discussions. Now, the head of this Secret Service is being grilled in front of Congress. The requests, which had not been previously reported, were sometimes denied by senior officials at the agency who cited various reasons, including a lack of resources at an agency that has long struggled with staffing shortages. Okay, so if you're truly understaffed, your first job is to protect the president, but you should also be protecting other would-be candidates. Like, in a democracy, that's very important. The Secret Service, after initially denying turning down requests for additional security, is now acknowledging some may have been rejected. So that's crazy if that's actually happened. Now, the director of the Secret Service was at a House hearing just today, and her name is Cheadle. Cheadle acknowledged that there were significant problems at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th, where the former president was shot in the ear, and she didn't downplay the historical and political significance of the event. Before Trump took the stage, listen to this, this is crazy. Before Trump took the stage at the rally, the director said the Secret Service had been notified, quote, between 2 and 5 times, unquote, that there was a suspicious person in the area. Cheadle admits a colossal failure, but she won't resign. Unlike Biden, who actually stepped down and that was a positive, healthy thing to move forward, she's not doing it. A bipartisan chorus of lawmakers called for her to resign her post. The criticism was sharper from Republicans, but Democrats also prodded Cheadle to let go. Democratic Representative Khanna pointed out that the Secret Service director who ran the agency when Reagan was shot eventually resigned from his post. Do you really genuinely, in your heart, believe that you being in this role is what's right for America at this moment? Khanna asked. Yeah, that's a good question. Good on her. I will remain on and be responsible to the agency, to this committee, to the former president, and to the American public, Cheadle replied, touting her nearly 30-year record working up the agency's ranks. Earlier in the hearing, she said, "I think I'm the best person to lead the Secret Service at this time." That is terrible leadership. Like, that, I mean, I get it. She didn't cause it, but she denied request, or her agency denied the request, and then she's not going to resign? Like, okay. In contrast, here's world leaders reacting to Biden's decision to exit the presidential race, and they were all saying kind things about him. Leaders around the world have begun to react to Joe Biden's announcement that he would not seek re-election this year, endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris in the most unorthodox U.S. presidential campaign in generations. "Dear President, Joe Biden," wrote Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk on X, "you've taken many difficult decisions, thanks to which Poland, America, and the world are safer, and democracy is stronger. I know you were driven by the same motivations when announcing your final decision, probably the most difficult one in your life." He's probably right. I'm sure Biden agonized over this. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that he respected Biden's decision and called his career remarkable. "I respect President Biden's decision and I look forward to us working together during the remainder of his presidency," Starmer said in a statement. "I know that, as he has done throughout his remarkable career, he will have made his decision based on what he believes is best for the American people." German Chancellor Olaf Scholz wrote on X, "My friend, at POTUS, Joe Biden, has achieved a lot for his country, for Europe, for the world. Thanks to him, transatlantic cooperation is close, NATO is strong, and the USA is a good and a reliable partner for us. His decision not to run again deserves respect." It does deserve respect. Former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett called Biden a true friend of Israel. Defense Minister Gallant also thanked Biden for his unwavering support of Israel over the years. "Your steadfast backing, especially during the war, has been invaluable. We are grateful for your leadership and friendship." Justin Trudeau of Canada called Biden a great man and then said that everything that he does is guided by his love of his country. New Zealand Prime Minister thanked Biden for his leadership and said that the president had dedicated his life to public service, and that's something that deserves much respect. Now, in contrast, Russian State Duma leader Volodin said Biden has caused problems all over the world and in his own country, the United States. Since he sees that he will not be elected, he is withdrawing without waiting for the election. Well, keeping it classy. All right, so let's talk about what's going on with the predictions of the election. So this is what it looked like in all the battleground states just before Biden bowed out. Trump up by 4.4, 5.8, 5.8, 3.3, 2.1. That's Michigan. Now that's important that we talk about Michigan because that's not one of the battleground states. So let's just kick that out. 4.5, 5.7, 4.0. So Trump was beating Biden every single one of the 6 battleground states. We're going to look to see if that changes over time, if the enthusiasm for Harris actually picks up, and the prediction market seems to be showing a little bit of that. So this is predicted, and Harris as the 47th president of the United States, 50 yes, 50 no. That's really interesting, with 1.9 million shares traded on that bet. So it looks a lot better for, if you're a Democrat, it looks a lot better for Harris than it looked under potentially Biden for this upcoming election. Now, I want to highlight Mitt Romney's statement about Biden because that one resonates with me. I'm a classic Republican and he's a classic Democrat. Obviously, President Biden and I usually didn't see eye to eye. Right, they have policy issues. They have legitimate policy issues. I opposed many of his initiatives, but we did find common ground on infrastructure, Ukraine, the Electoral Count Act, adding religious liberty protections to the marriage bill, gun safety measures, and chip manufacturing. Yeah, and I can see like 6 or 7 of those, I'm right there with him. Others will judge his presidency. However, having worked with him these past few years, I respect President Biden. His decision to withdraw from the race was right, and it's in the best interest of the country. Ann and I send warm personal wishes to the President and First Lady. So this is statesman-like language, looking for places where they can work together rather than just easily finding places where they're at odds. Now, before we're done, I want to show you 2 memes. Wait till the last one, you'll love it. Supporting Ukraine is the morally right thing to do. Ukraine supporter mental gymnastics. Supporting Ukraine in their battle against unprovoked genocidal Russian aggression is the morally right thing to do. You can just walk right across that mat. Russia supporter mental gymnastics, a little bit differently. Ukrainians are Russians who forgot that they were Russian. All Ukrainians are Nazis. It's a US proxy war. It's about NATO expansion. It's Ukrainian biolabs that create Russophobic battle mosquitoes. I mean, you got to come up with all kinds of crazy mental gymnastics in order to actually support Russia over Ukraine. And I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Putin and Xi are on the phone. I don't know who's asking which, but it doesn't really matter. They're saying, I don't understand. What does stepping down mean? Of course, it's a meme, but if you don't understand what stepping down means, that's a bad sign, and you're a dictator. All right, my friends, that's all that I have for you. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.